As you learn about the narcissistic pattern, it's also wise to reflect on the much healthier alternatives. Now, below you're going to find a link to my new extensive course called Ready, Set, Connect. It addresses both the mindset and the skills involved in gratifying relationships, and I hope you'll find it to be quite therapeutic. Needless to say, as you have ongoing interactions with a narcissist, whether it's inside your home or work or social setting or beyond, there's a lot of frustration that they bring to the equation and they generate inside of you because as you try to talk with them, especially in moments of differentness or if you're trying to discuss priorities or preferences or procedures, these individuals just don't seem to be too interested in knowing you at all, and you can have great difficulty feeling that you are ever going to be coordinated with them. Basically, these people are so self-centered and so self-serving in the way that they think that you're not going to enter into their processes very cleanly. What's going on here? Now, one of the terms that we use as we describe narcissism is the term alternate reality. And basically what we mean is narcissists are quite willing and adept and habituated to the idea that it's okay to distort truth to suit their narrative. Now, often this begins happening in their life at such an early age that they can't articulate it, quite like I just did. But over time, narcissists are so self-serving that any sense of objectivity gives way to subjectivity. Rather than thinking, what does reason say? How can I blend well with other individuals having their differences? The subjective side says, hey, it's all about me and getting my ways. And as a result, you can be over there thinking, I can't get through to this person. I can't have an adult conversation with them. And basically, you begin realizing over time that to the narcissist, truth, such as it is merely a toy to be played with. Truth is expedient. And if they have to make up certain things, we call that lies, to get their narrative across and to maintain their position over you, they're quite willing to do so. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to run through 10 of the most common lies that narcissists will tell themselves so that they can prop up their alternate reality. And in doing so, of course, it can create all this frustration on you. Let's take a look at what we're talking about. One of the first lies that narcissists will tell themselves is, I should be free from pain or struggle. Now, you know and I know that in any kind of relationship, there's going to be differentness, there's going to be disappointments or hurt, and sometimes there are events that go along all around us that are just not all that pleasant. And narcissists are thinking, hey, wait a minute, this is me. I don't need to be dealing with all this tension and frustration. And in their mind, they exist to have the world satisfy them. And as a result, they don't want to have to deal with pain and they run from it. And so they create narratives that will allow them to think that they're special and they're entitled to a very distinct kind of treatment. That's a beginning point that's very strong. It's not true, but it's very strong in the way that they engage with people. Now, a second lie that they tell themselves is acceptance means you're supposed to admire and adore me. They don't have a real sense of objectivity regarding that topic because you see, they're very needy. They psychologically, they look at you as being someone that can offer them supply. Tell me how wonderful I am. And so what they call acceptance really isn't acceptance at all. It's they want your fealty, they want your loyalty, and they want it in a blind kind of way so that it can prop up their fragile ego. Now, a third lie that they will tell themselves is you deserve to be scorned for your mistakes. And of course, they don't. In their minds, they're able to pick out all sorts of flaws and negatives in everybody else And as a result, they're very critical, but they're not very self-reflective. But instead, what they'll do is they'll whittle away at your resolve. They'll question your decisions. They'll let you know that they think that you're foolish or idiotic, and you simply cannot go away from them thinking, hey, I think they think I'm a pretty good person. They'll let you know what your defects are, and typically the list is pretty long. Now, a fourth lie that they will tell themselves is, if you try to point out or call out my flaws, you just don't know me. Narcissists have such an inflated, false, but inflated view of who they are that they think, well, if you dare to say that there's something wrong with me, clearly you must be an ill-informed person. And they bypass the notion that we're all flawed. We all have strains and difficulties, and we may have miscalculations, or we all have blind spots. And the narcissists, in their alternate reality, think, not me. That's something that's just not there. And as a result, if you say, let's talk about that, you will be met with chronic invalidation. Now, a fifth thing, speaking of you trying to talk with them, narcissists will let it be known, I'm not a defensive person. In fact, they'll even lie to themselves and say, I'm actually a very approachable, open individual. And you're over there thinking, are you kidding me? These people are the poster children for defensiveness, which means that they're very fear-based. They don't trust individuals, and they can chronically justify or rationalize whatever it is that they're doing that seems off base to you. They throw up walls and they don't let you get inside. They don't like to be vulnerable. But in their minds, they've told themselves, I'm not a defensive person, so if we have a problem, obviously it has to be you. A sixth lie that they have is the reason that people do criticize me, and they're out there, they'll say that, is because they're jealous. And so again, they want to hold themselves up in a high and superior kind of way. They've got this false inflated ego, and as a result, whenever somebody does say, well, there's something here that's bothering me, it's like, yeah, I'm so much better than you. I'm sure it bothers you, but that's not on me. That's on you. And as a result, they continue on in their haughty, condescending attitude towards other individuals. Now, a seventh lie that they'll say to themselves is, I'm not a controlling person. Now, you might be, but I'm not. I'm just trying to be helpful, or you need someone to straighten you out. But if you want to call me controlling, you're wrong. You're the one who has the stubbornness issue. I am a really open kind of person, and unfortunately, you're just too stupid to understand what that means. Now, an eighth lie that they will tell themselves is, actually, I'm much more empathetic than you might think that I am. And these individuals think of themselves as knowing and being able to read other individuals from their angle and from their vantage point. They may even go so far as to say, oh, I know you a whole lot better than anybody else. I know you better than you know yourself. But nonetheless, they like to think of themselves in these lofty terms like, well, I have very good people skills and I have good instincts with that. When in fact, they don't. They don't like to see you from your vantage point. They just like to pretend that they do. Now, a ninth lie that they've bought into is, if you think that I am a manipulator, why don't we just agree you are the one with a hidden agenda? You might come along and say, hey, this isn't working for me, and I think you're messing with me, and you may try to confront them on something. And when you do, it's just going to draw their argumentative style. Au contraire, if you think that I'm messing with you, there's only one problem here, and that is you're trying to mess with me. I'm just trying to stand for truth. That's how they lie to themselves. And then a 10th lie that they will tell themselves, and that is, I'm not an arrogant person. Somewhere along the line, they probably pick up that other people think that of themselves. But what they'll do is they'll say, well, I'm a confident person, and that doesn't mean I'm arrogant. And they overlook the fact that their confidence is built upon belittling other individuals. It's a false sense of confidence at everybody else's expense. That's how they think. And by the way, let me just add a bonus. I mentioned I have 10. A bonus lie that we'll say is they'll also tell you, and I'm not a hypocrite either. You're a hypocrite, but I'm not. Do you see what we're dealing with here? This is what I mean when I say narcissists operate with alternate reality. They have decided that they have to be at the top of the stack. They have to be the best. They have to be the one that's in charge, that has the final word. And so they'll justify and rationalize all sorts of things about you and about themselves to prop up their truth, which isn't truth at all. It's just propaganda, but they bought into it and they want you to buy into it. So as you see this and you spot it for what it is, just know you're dealing with a con artist. Honesty is something that to them is quite fluid, and it only is used when it supports their desires and needs of the moment. They actually like it when you call them out, because you know what they'll do? They'll use it as an opportunity to say, see, I am dealing with a complete and total idiot, and they love to put blame shifting on, or the blame shift onto you. And the bottom line is they simply can't be honest with you because it would blow their cover. They have such a fragile ego that any kind of admission of fault or any kind of vulnerability, which is what healthy individuals do, it's like, no, I can't go into that. So when they come toward you with their lies, and it's very clear that they're wanting you to buy into that, I'm hoping that you can have certain responses. 1, we think differently. 2, I think I'll continue to live according to my understanding. 3, I truly have no need to force you to agree with me. Now, you may say these thoughts out loud, you may think them in your mind, but anyway, when narcissists realize that that's what you're thinking, they are going to invalidate, just like I mentioned a little bit ago. And ultimately, you and I can hold on to the notion that says it's truly pitiable that an individual like that narcissist feels the need to build their persona upon self-delusion. That's where they are. You don't need to join them. Now, the videos such as this can give you some good awareness of what you're dealing with. If you've not already hit that subscribe button, Gus and I would love to have you do so, and we'll keep bringing more videos in your direction. I truly appreciate you allowing me to be on your journey with you. Likewise, if you feel like you have a need for therapy, and many times as you're struggling with these kinds of issues that I'm talking about, you would realize that would be a good option for you. You know that I've been sponsored for years now by the people at BetterHelp.com. They have a link below this video, and you can go through that link. There's a whole team of licensed professional therapists that you could choose from. It's affordable, it's accessible, it's become very popular in recent years. Please get the help that you would need. In addition, I also have my therapeutic courses, and it's like signing up for an online class, and it's very extensive. It'll take a little bit of a time commitment from you, but I hope it would be worth it. Each class has multiple videos, like 25 with written documents per video and guided questions, and it'll walk you through the process of adjusting. Well, one is called Ready, Set, Connect, about how to make healthy connection skills. And we also have This Is Me, about establishing your boundaries, free to be finding yourself despite those controllers. We also have my webinars that have been presented, and they're on my website, and you can find those. In addition to my podcast, we have the website that does have many articles. We have my books, plenty of resources. Okay, narcissists can't be honest with you because they can't be honest with themselves. They have built an alternate reality that they're deeply committed to. Understand that and know that if you try to make them see that and adjust, it's just going to be an invitation for them to invalidate. So, okay, got it. In the meantime, I'm hoping you can decide, well, that's their gig. I'm not going to join them. I'm on Team Healthy. I'm sticking with my dignity, respect, and civility. And in doing so, it allows you to become a person of peace that unfortunately they can't join you with. But I'm hoping that you'll seek your peace nonetheless, even if it means you have to do it in a solo way.